So I'm finally starting to feel a bit better. I thought, you know what? It's time for me to catch up on what's going on in the world of video games because really the past week I haven't really been paying attention. There's been some stuff with Nintendo going on that I'll definitely want to talk about, but something that's been popping off and been very popular on the internet lately has been DKOldies. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what DKOldies is, they are a website that, man, they've been around for a very, very long time. I remember like DKOldies and eStarland were like two of the first big websites to buy retro video games when the retro video game market started to become a thing. Now, this was back in its infancy, and you know, just seeing these businesses grow and seeing all this sort of stuff happen, it's been a very interesting ride. But of course, DKOldies has been getting hit with a lot of scrutiny lately. People are now going and buying systems from their website, getting them sent to them. The systems are supposedly refurbished, and then they get the systems and evidently they're not. It's something that's obviously picking up traction, and a lot of YouTubers are starting to do it. And I mean, it makes sense. You know, it makes sense to try and buy something from a large retailer like a GameStop, like a DKOldies, and hoping that maybe something is a bit awry with your order so you can get mad and get the views and the clicks. I totally get it. I mean, I've done it myself before with certain GameStop orders, like the one where they sent me Dishonored 2 instead of Resident Evil 2 on the GameCube, and people thought I made that up. But I want to talk about my experience with DKOldies, because my experience with DKOldies has been completely different than all these other people's experiences, but I also didn't do what everyone else is doing. Now, before I get into my experience with them, let's take a look at the DKOldies website and kind of show something that should be a bit of a red flag for some people right out of the gate. All right, so here's their website. You get free US shipping over $10 orders. Here's the guys, kind of the face of them. And I mean, just look at what we have here. Just look at what we have here. Most popular N64 two-player pack for $200, nearly $200. A Wii for $115. You know, a PS2 Slim for $209. I understand that, you know, video games are very expensive right now, but I didn't think they were, you know, that expensive. Let's take a look at some stuff here. Let's look at, like, I don't know, just Game Boy for whatever reason. Let's take a look at the Game Boy, see what they're selling. They got Game Boy. It's $150, $100. Like, here's the thing about DKOldies. If you look at their prices are high. Their prices have always been high. That's something that's just always been the thing. So if you're buying from DKOldies and you're getting upset about the pricing, I feel like that should fall upon you. You know, you have to be a smart consumer when it comes to purchasing stuff, and when it comes to, you know, spending your money. It's $40 for this. Like, okay, let's take this game for example. Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins for Game Boy, $39.99 on sale. Let's go over to eBay and see what it's selling for on eBay. All right, so here we are on eBay, and as we can see, that's not really the price for this game. You know, $17. We got a nice clean one for $30, or best offer $27.99 free shipping. If you just want to play the game, $17.79. It's got a little bit of a scuffed label, but that's with free shipping as well. So DKOldies has always been a higher priced, you know, thing when it comes to video games. Let's take a look at another game here. Something I'm more familiar with as I keep my finger on the pulse of it. Sega Saturn stuff, you know, that's definitely a system that I really love. Obviously, I've made several videos on it. You can see here, some of these prices are extremely high, like a stall, $160, $155.99. And that's just disc only. That is disc only for $155.99. If that was a complete copy, okay, we're talking a bit of business here. Let's take a look at price charting and get a sort of overall feel for what a stall is going for right now, just disc only. All right, so here we have some disc only prices: $36, $25, $60, like even some complete prices. You know, obviously there's not a whole hell of a lot, but you know, $139, $100, and this was sold this year. This was sold, you know, at the time of the filming of this video, you know, 15 days ago. A complete copy sold for $100, but they want $155 for a loose copy of the game. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're buying stuff from DKOldies and you're overpaying for stuff, like, that kind of falls on you. You need to know what these things are worth. You need to know the fair market value for them. If you could buy something for cheaper from somewhere else and it's the exact same thing, and you decide not to do that, you decide to buy it from DKOldies, you know, that kind of falls on you. Is it scummy that they're overcharging so much for this stuff? Yeah, I think so to some degree, but at the end of the day, you have to be a well-informed consumer. But once again, I'm here to talk about my experience with DKOldies, because everyone's experience thus far has been, you know, the same thing. They go on there, they buy the overpriced stuff. This is dirty. This is dirty. This smells. This controller's fake. And then they get mad about it and they make a video about it. But there's a whole nother side to DKOldies that can actually be very lucrative that nobody's talking about. So I'll be the person to talk about it because, hey, you know, that's what I do. Because my experience with DKOldies was phenomenal, but I didn't buy a single damn thing. I sold them stuff. You see, this is a large website. This is a large inventory store. When I bought my place, you know, a little over a year ago, I was looking at my collection of stuff and I was like, I have like so many random things that I just don't care about. You know, a bunch of stuff that I'd like to get rid of, just random, you know, PS2 games and stuff like that. But the more important stuff that I found was stuff like Nintendo DS stuff. Nintendo DS stuff, for some reason, especially like the RPGs, the dungeon crawlers and stuff, that's worth like stupid amounts of money. Like I had the Ys collection on there, the Final Fantasy stuff, the Dragon Quest games, weird dungeon crawlers like Terracia and stuff like that. Like I had so many just random games for my DS and I was like, I've played these before or I'm never going to play them again. I wonder what they're worth. So I ended up picking out some of my games from my collection that I was like, I can get rid of these. You know, I don't really have an emotional attachment to them, or, you know, it's been re-released on another system that I already have. And I ended up coming out with about, you know, probably $4,500 worth of stuff at absolute high market value. And I was like, okay, you know, that's a good chunk of change. It'll help, you know, cover moving costs, this, that, and the other. Let me try to sell these games. I learned very quickly that unless you're selling stuff individually, there's not a lot of people willing to play ball with you. I hit up stores, I hit up, you know, dealers that I know personally, gave them a full list of my inventory of the stuff that I was getting rid of, the price charting, average price, and then, you know, I was expecting, you know, 60%, 50 to 60% or something like that. Obviously, you're not going to get the whole $4,500, but if I'm going in a bulk lot, you know, that's the whole point of doing things in bulk. You want to get a big amount of money up front. You don't want to deal with, you know, shipping individual items and having to keep up with individual items. Nobody would touch my stuff. It was all good stuff. I mean, yes, I threw some filler in there too, just to, you know, maybe like a Roger Clemens baseball on the NES. But at the end of the day, it was mostly good stuff with some filler thrown in. And the good stuff would have sold very quickly at very premium prices. But nobody wanted to pony up all the money at once. I hit up DKOldies. I said, hey, you know, I'm looking to unload some stuff. And they're like, okay, well, send us a list. I sent them a list. They sent me a very fair offer, very fair, about what I was, you know, expecting to get. And then they were like, great, you got boxes for them? I was like, yeah. They were like, okay, we'll give you some shipping labels. You know, just call and have them come pick it up. We'll send you the money via PayPal. So I'm thinking like it's going to be this long, arbitrary process. They're going to have to go through, check out all the games, you know, this, that, and the other, even though most of them were like, you know, it was mostly DS stuff, disc-based stuff where you could look at it, you know, a couple filler NES games. But I would say within like 5 or 6 days of the inventory getting there, they sent me my money. And that was it. That was it. It was the easiest thing in the freaking world. I got a good dollar amount. Not great. You know, I could have made more money selling it individually. I probably could have made more money if I waited a bit longer to, you know, sell it to, you know, a dealer during convention season or something like that. But that just wasn't in the cards for me. And I just wanted some quick cash to, you know, cover a few expenses from moving. And, you know, they came through. They came through. The payment was quick. Everything about the experience was super positive. So I know that's kind of a different viewpoint of what DKOldies does because of the fact that everyone's just dunking on them, and probably rightfully so. I don't know. I can't speak as a buyer. I've never purchased anything from DKOldies, but as someone who sold something to DKOldies, I was very pleased with the experience, and I would consider doing it again if I was just looking to get rid of some stuff, you know, because I don't know, maybe I had some hospital bills, but, you know, I might revisit that again and take a look and see, you know, what they're offering. So, you know, you got to think of it from a totality perspective. Maybe that's why they charge so much because they actually give good pricing for cash pricing. You got to remember that's also cash, not trade-in value too. So that's always, you know, minimal compared to what you would get for a trade-in value on something. So I don't know. What was the point of this? I guess just to tell people, like, don't be afraid to sell your stuff to them. Like, the worst case, what ends up happening is you send them a list, they send you a price. If you're not happy with the price, you walk away. Like, who cares? But like, my experience with them was super positive. I'm just not gonna buy anything from them anytime soon. Let me know in the comment section down below, though, what you think of the whole DKOldies situation. Have you purchased stuff from them before? Do you love them? Do you hate them? And have you ever sold anything to them before? And if so, what you thought about the process? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. I guess the bitch is back. You know, I'm gonna try. You know, I've been feeling there's been like spurts, like down spurts throughout the day, but for the most part, I would say like I'm feeling mostly overall better. And almost back to somewhat normal stuff. I still got some fluid in my ear, but like blood pressure's under control though. I gotta do some more testing and stuff like that. But hey, you know, that's life, baby. Take care of yourself. I love all you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.